Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig Sports. This is the MLB DFS Core Pick video for today, Tuesday, April 30th. If you're joining me for the very first time, this is how today's video will be structured. We'll be going over a recap of yesterday's picks, seeing how they ultimately ended up turning out. After that, we'll get moved over to RotoWire and talk about the weather report for today. So that's going to be all the games that have at least a double-digit chance of rain for tonight's slate overall. And it looks like there's only going to be one today, so that should be a pretty short segment. And then after that, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks, which is going to be one pitcher, four hitters. It's going to be based on a combination of past performance versus their respective opponent, as well as recent history. And then after that, we'll get moved over to my cheat sheet, which is up on the Sports Affiliation website. That is 100% free. We'll be talking about the top GPP teams to stack for tonight's slate overall. But without further ado, we'll get started with that recap of yesterday's picks. So in terms of the picks that we had yesterday, we had Joe Ryan at the pitcher position, $10,900. His last three starts versus the White Sox had been pretty good. Unfortunately, he got to 25 points yesterday, so technically he was a miss. Pitched 6 innings in this game, got the quality start, only gave up 2 earned runs, so pretty solid performance from that regard. Strikeouts just weren't there yesterday, so he only had 3 of them. And I don't think he got the win either, so that was kind of a detriment for him. If he gets the win, he gets, I believe, 4 or 6 extra points. I can't remember off the top of my head now. That puts him, right around that 30-point range. And then if he gets the extra strikeouts, probably looking at closer to 40. And then we had Alec Boehm. You could play him at first base or third base. $3,500, got 16.5, so he was a hit yesterday. Willie Castro, $2,700, kind of a pay down option, got to 9, so I did give him a hit. You could play him at shortstop, third base, or outfield yesterday. And then Lourdes Gurriel Jr. at $3,500 in the outfield, 9.2 points. Technically, I like getting, right around at least double-digit points out of these guys. Did give him a push because he was just shy of that. And then last but not least, we had Luis Rengifo at $2,600. Got to 15.2 points, so he was a really good pay-down option on yesterday's slate overall. So it was a little bit of a mixed bag yesterday. Not the greatest day overall. If you had some other really good hitters, you might have had a chance to cash in still, but a little bit tougher on yesterday's slate overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to RotoWire and talk about that weather report for today. Once again, there's only one game in terms of weather that we'll be watching. That's out in Boston between the Boston Red Sox and the San Francisco Giants. 15% chance of rain out there. Nothing that looks majorly concerning at this point in time. If this game or any other game does ultimately end up changing throughout the day, we'll leave that listed down in the comments below. But without further ado, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about those core picks for tonight's slate. So we're going to start off at the pitcher position with Jon Gray. He's $7,800. He is my preferred paydown option tonight. He's going against the Washington Nationals. Got some pretty good history versus these Washington hitters in the past, although he has not pitched against them this season, obviously, and he did not pitch against them in 2023. Jon Gray has had some decent performance to start off the year, only averaging 25 fantasy points per game. There was kind of like one really short start in there. I think it might have even been in relief, too, as I'm kind of speaking through it. Strikeouts have been pretty good this year. Hasn't been pitching like too deep into games, so we'll see if that's the case once again tonight or not. But he's been relatively effective for the most part. We have seen 3 games with him up over 30 fantasy points, $7,800. Doesn't have a win on the season. ERA's up under 3 at this point in time, so definitely do like the upside that he does present tonight overall. And then we're going to move down to our hitters. We got Bryce Harper at first base, $3,500. Some really good history today. He is 6 for 10 with 3 home runs in his career versus Tyler Anderson, so some really good history there. He has at least one hit in 9 out of his last 11 games. 3 of those have been multi-hit games, so he's on a little bit of a hot streak overall. When you look at the season numbers, though, it's only the 237 average, so kind of a slower start to the year. 6 home runs, 18 RBIs. Averaging about 11.5 fantasy points per game at $3,500. Definitely do like the upside that he could present tonight overall. These Phillies actually have hit Tyler Anderson pretty well in the past, although Tyler Anderson is pitching really well to start off the season. Then we're going to move down to Xander Bogaerts. You can play him at second base. You can play him at shortstop. Not the greatest start to the year with 216 average, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, averaging 8 fantasy points per game. Only $2,800. So, and in his career, versus Nick Martinez, he is 5 for 10 with 1 home run. He's got at least 1 hit in 7 out of his last 10 games, and 3 of those have been multi-hit games. So, been a little bit more productive as of late. See if that trend continues once again tonight. And, that good history versus Nick Martinez in the past. And once again, versatile guy. You can play him at second or shortstop at a reasonable price tag. And then last but not least, we're going to move down to the outfielder. We have 2 Houston Astros outfielders here. We're going to start off first with Kyle Tucker. He is $3,900, hitting .290 on the season, 7 home runs, 20 RBIs, averaging just over 14 fantasy points per game. In his career versus Carlos Carrasco, the expected starting pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians tonight, 1 for 2 with 1 home run, and he has at least 1 hit in 9 out of his last 10 games, and 4 of those games have been multi-hit games, so kind of expecting him to continue his good streak as of late. And then for the other outfielder for the Houston Astros, we got Yordan Alvarez at $3,800, hitting .275 on the season. 7 home runs, 18 RBIs, averaging 11.5 fantasy points per game. And he did start off the season a little bit slower. He's been a little bit more hit or miss as of late. He has at least 1 hit in 4 out of his last 6 games. 2 of them have been multi-hit games, and both those were 3-hit games at that. And in his career versus Carlos Carrasco, 3 for 3 with 2 home runs. So definitely do like the upside that he could present tonight overall. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do currently have listed here, you have $13,200 remaining. $3,300 per player, so still a decent amount of room and flexibility to be had there, even paying up in the outfield for 2 different guys, since we did pay down for John Gray at that starting pitcher position. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my cheat sheet and talk about those top GPP teams to stack for tonight's slate overall. So once again, my cheat sheet is 100% free. It is up on the Sports Affiliation website. I have listed a link in the community tab for that as well. I'll try to throw it down in the comments section of this video as well. But the teams that I do like in terms of GPP stacks tonight, going to be Houston Astros, really good history with Carlos Carrasco in the past. Carrasco's, pretty hittable at this point in his career. So I definitely do like them. Obviously, we got the 2 guys in the core picks. Alex Bregman is another guy that's hit him pretty well in the past. Jeremy Pena's hitting the ball extremely well as of late. And then Jose Altuve has also hit Carrasco pretty well in the past as well. And then we have the Pittsburgh Pirates going against Alex Wood. A lot of these guys have him pretty well in the past. Brian Reynolds, Michael Taylor, too, that really do stand out that are in my cheat sheet. Brian Hayes would be the third one if you're really looking to go there. And then last but not least, I have the San Francisco Giants going against Cooper Criswell and the Boston Red Sox bullpen. Looking a little bit like a bullpen type of game. We'll see how deep in the game Criswell pitches, but like the upside that the Giants could present tonight overall. Probably not going to be a super popular one, though, since they're not like the strongest offense in the world. But if you want a way to get a little bit different, definitely could be in play tonight. But with that being said, that's what I have in terms of the recap, the weather report, the core picks, and the top GPP teams to stack for tonight's slate overall. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And then with that being said, if there's any major updates that do come out throughout the day, I'll be leaving them down in the comments, as well as the starting lineups, as they do get announced throughout the afternoon and early evening. So definitely be on the lookout for that. If there's any major changes to the core, we'll also leave that listed down there below as well. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking it out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we have MLB DFS Core Pick videos Monday through Friday, unless we do get a super early start, which is probably going to happen one of the next 2 days. Just be on the lookout for that. But my cheat sheet will be out Monday through Friday regardless. And then I also do put out my UFL DFS video once a week. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to it last week, but we'll be back for week number 6. So definitely be on the lookout for that as well, if that's something you're into. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Parlay Play, and Prize Picks. If you are a brand new user on any one of these 3 sites, when you sign up, you make your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's a 100% match on your initial deposit up to $100. And then for BetUS, it's a 125% match on your initial deposit up to $2,500. So some pretty great opportunities to be had out there. And then with that being said, if you have any questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comments below or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in MLB DFS tonight.